I really need to warn all of my conservative compadres. This Hillary thing with her and Bill taking money from these foreign countries. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I am so happy the New York Times is finally reporting the truth about a liberal. But let me warn you guys what not to get caught up in. We all know Hillary is a crook. Hillary and Bill Clinton are probably and will go down in history once we're all dead and gone and they're looking back in the annals of American history as probably the most corrupt couple, and even would be corrupt as individuals as you will have ever seen in the history of this country. I have no doubt about that. And we all know she's a liar. This lady cannot be trusted. She has no accomplishments. We know all of that. But let's not get sucked in to this whole Hillary, because we have a really big issue with this uranium deal by the Russians, who actually now that it's been exposed, and now that it is what we do know is fact, the Russians own almost 20% of our uranium in this country. That should have never ever happened. And let me tell you how it happened. That could have only been approved by this sorry, weak, pathetic, no-count administration and Barack Obama and his secretaries. And I tell you this because they had to approve this. They had to vote on it. We're talking about the Secretary of State. We're talking about the Secretary of Defense. We're talking about the Secretary of Energy. We're talking about the sorry Attorney General. They all have their hands in this. And you know, folks, we don't need to get suckered in. We know Hillary's a crook. Hillary, in my personal opinion, will never be president. Anybody that would vote for this old bag lady should have their head examined. Anybody that's wanting to push her into this office just because she's a woman, they shouldn't be allowed to vote, because that would be atrocious. So let's get off of her for a second. She is the crook we know she is. Her husband, the crook we know he is. All the girls, the money, they are crooks, and they can be, you know what? Why do you think she got rid of those emails? Why do you think General Electric will not release any emails sent to him by our State Department? We know this. And folks, if you don't know it, then you don't have enough brain or common sense to even vote. So let's get off that. What I'm concerned about is our great and mighty nation is being sacrificed by this administration. We just gave the approval, or they gave the approval, for Putin to control 20% of our uranium, and he is sending, you know, he's sending some to Iran. That's the sin in this. That's the problem. Barack Obama is the problem still. And if they did that, we need to ask, and I know that we won't be able to depend on NBC or CNN or the idiots at MSNBC or ABC or CBS, so we're going to have to ride Fox's coattail to make sure that this administration is asked. We know we have these troubles with Russia. They're taking over the Ukraine. They basically look at Obama as a weak, pathetic coward, which he is. We need to ask Josh, who's not so earnest, why did the administration approve this? Why did the cabinet members approve this? That's the question. We need to keep our eye on the big ball. We know Hillary is a corrupt, miserable, pathetic excuse for a human being. We know that. And we know she would like... Listen, I'm going to just say one thing to rid all of the defense that they're going to put up. They play these games of trying to destroy the messenger. Do you guys remember on the Today Show about, I don't know, almost 20 years ago, when Bill Clinton was first accused of having an affair with Monica Lewinsky. That big lying bag lady got on national TV and blamed everything on us. Us conservatives, the vast right-wing conservatives was the reason and that these lies were getting out. Of course, we found out that we didn't have anything to do with it. It was all on them, or actually it was all on Bill. So that's what they're doing, folks. Let's not get fooled by this. But we need to ask this administration, why on God's green earth would we allow the Russians to control 20% of our uranium, and how much of it is going to Iran? That's what we need to ask. Let's keep our eye on the ball, folks.